All right, welcome to the second edition of Coffee Conversations, or whatever I'm going to end up calling it. I don't really know. That's what I came up with just because I love the idea of having a very casual conversation instead of some formal podcast with a list of questions. So, but who knows what I also came up with something like full disclosure, coffee conversations and full disclosure. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's probably going to be some of each. So it's six of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, probably so. Well, all right. Well, I'm here with Kim Patterson, and I've known Kim for quite some time now, only through social media, which is really interesting because we work with over 800 agents in my company, and I've probably met 100 of those 800 agents. Everybody else I just know through social media, it's interesting how close you can get with people, right?
Well, yeah, with your posts too. You're freaking off the chain with your posts. I love how how
Yeah.
vulnerable and how you push yourself out there, Dustin. It's amazing when we um, give a part of ourselves, it actually makes people trust us more. It's crazy, but it does.
Yeah, and um I would much rather be real and vulnerable and have the opportunity to potentially help save someone's life than to not be that way at the risk of losing business,
Yeah,
which I have. I've lost business from my post before.
it's okay.
It is okay.
It is okay.
Yeah. But
Absolutely.
you are like that too. You are vulnerable.
Getting more so. Yes, sir. I am getting myself more out there. It's definitely been a button pusher just because I've never been a someone to like conflict. And so I tend to just walk away from it um, or ignore it. And so it's been hard for me to put myself out there because I know everybody's not gonna agree with me. But the more I do what I'm doing, the more I realize the people who do need to hear it, it's really important.
Yep. That was well said. Yeah, and it's interesting because I get probably 2 to 3 messages a week from people, typically who are struggling with addiction, and they'll reach out to me and ask about my journey and what they can do. They'll let me know that they're struggling with addiction, typically alcohol. Sometimes it's drugs, but rarely. And it's alcoholism is rampant in our industry. I don't know if it's like that in every other industry, but I know it is in real estate. Um, and so I've had the opportunity to guide a lot of those people into a 12-step program, and so some of them I know are still active in recovery, others didn't make it. And a couple of them I know are probably not going to make it out alive. One of them has cirrhosis of the liver and won't quit drinking, and I understand. Um, but that, and I've had people who have reached out to me because of the post I did on cutting myself and suicide attempts, who have reached out to me and confided in me that they don't see a point in waking up in the mornings, and are struggling with having any purpose. And I've gotten a chance to really share with those people and hopefully touch them. So that makes it very, very worth it to me, just like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Made a difference to that one.
Yeah, it did.
Like that whole seashell or starfish story.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting intro to our
Yes, it
conversation.
sure was.
Yeah. Okay, so tell people a little bit about yourself. Who is Kim Patterson? What do you do?
Well, I was a school teacher for a long time. I taught special ed, loved it. But I could not handle the micromanaging and the paperwork. And it was a real conflict of interest to me because I was having real results with the kids and I was told to do something else. And it just rubbed me, because of lawsuits and all of that kind of stuff. You got to check this box, do that box. And teachers already work so hard. Um, and so they have to keep up with the paperwork. And a lot of what they do in the classroom, grading papers, doing this, that, the other thing, all of that stuff is done at night and they don't get paid for it.
Mm.
And yet they're requirements. And I couldn't continue in that. And I literally resigned halfway through the year. My kids cried. I cried. Some of the kids I worked with. I worked in special ed and mixed classrooms. So no one really knew who I was there for. I helped everyone. But it was really, really hard. And
Yeah, you're very relationally driven.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, but I was crying every day. I'd go into work and I couldn't keep it down. And
Ugh.
I was, I'd been praying, please do something. And one morning I woke up and I just heard this voice, resign. And I'm not 100, I'm not Christian. I'm kind of like you. I believe there's something bigger out there. And I pray and um, yeah, just very connected, I feel.
Hmm.
But the words that came to me were resign. And at that time, I was a single mom. And I was like, okay, well,
Wow.
if you're going to help me resign, then you got to help me with another job.
If one door is going to shut, you better open the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up working on base at a rug store. Yeah, crazy Turkish rug store. Learned all about that,
What?
managed the business, did really great there. And my husband said, you really should go into real estate. And I said,
Your
it's going to be
husband
too
said
much.
that.
Yeah. I said, it's going to be too much like the paperwork's going to be too much like special ed. I said, I can't do that. And he said, go try. So I signed up. Then 2 days later, I went and pulled my money back and I said, I don't want to do this. And he said, why? And I said, because I don't want to spend $1,000 to find out I don't want to do something. He says, Kim, we could spend $1,000 on tires. Go do it. If you like it, great. If you don't, then that's okay.
Wow. What a guy.
He's amazing. So I did. And of course, real estate it's a passion because it's about relationships. I mean, so much of it is about managing the transaction, yes, but it's also managing emotions, helping buyers and sellers get through the chaos. I mean, and I tell people I take this, or real estate agents do, and we make it like this,
Hmm.
but it's not going to go away. I had a client recently ask me, when is this going to feel better? And I said, when you have the keys.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, Kim. And I said, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I can help the journey be a little bit easier, hopefully,
Yeah. It's
by
one of the
keeping in
biggest
touch.
decisions of their
Oh, and
lives.
it's so stressful. And then everything that you possibly could have come up will come up during the transaction.
Man.
The car will break down. I mean, it's crazy. Everything and I kind of tell people if they're open to it, I'll say, those things that come up are the things that you need to leave behind in order to move on because you're moving into a new life, basically, especially if you've never bought a home and now you are. So the old has to kind of shed away. And sometimes that's a car, and sometimes that's a relationship. And sometimes, sometimes it's old decisions that we've made that don't fit with our current life anymore.
Yep.
I'm getting deep, but anyway, I love this stuff. I really do. So,
And so you're with EXP.
yes.
How interesting. The first person I
I
interviewed was
saw
also at
that.
EXP. Yeah.
I saw that. There's a lot of us,
Yeah.
but she was amazing. I actually reached out to her on social media. I'd like to connect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you start with EXP?
No, No, I started with a boutique kind of broker,
Got it.
moved to a bigger one, and then ended up going to Remax, and then I came to EXP. So
Awesome.
always looking for something different, and they all had something different. And it's like I tell people, you can try to create what you want where you are, or you can find some place that has it, and it's really your decision. So no brokerage is perfect.
See, I love that because I all the time I see these brokerages and I get it because you own a company and so you want to advertise that there's absolutely no one and nothing like you. And that's okay to believe that. But just like with my company, I believe we are the absolute best, but we are not a perfect fit for everybody.
Exactly.
There are some people who
Exactly.
need something a little bit different, and there's a TC out there for them. And so I think that's interesting with brokerages too, because they
Very
all
much so.
claim to be the brokerage. And I'm thinking, no, because not every human being is exactly the same. And there's a brokerage that meets that human being needs right where they are.
Exactly. Exactly. And meets
Huh.
that client needs too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I mean, I've had a lot of people follow me no matter where I go. I'm very grateful. A lot of my business is referral. Um, I've been in the business 8 years. I took about a year off and looking at coaching and speaking and doing a lot of training there. And now I'm back in it again, and I love it. But my goal is to help other people learn the what people. One of the things I learned in special ed is that behavior is a language.
Yes. Micro expressions, macro expressions.
Absolutely. But even behaviors with other agents, anger, whatever, it's like look behind that and see what they're really trying to say. Usually it's fear or they're upset. But if you know that, you can speak to that instead of getting defensive.
Yeah. I tell my TCs when we have team meetings every other week, and I tell them when you get an email that pricks you the wrong way, don't look at the tone, look at the information. Always
Yes.
put your
Oh,
finger on the information
yes.
and just stick with the information. Because whenever I used to get an email that said, per my previous email, I would go, oh, and I'd want to hit reply and start launching back an attack because I can see the
My recent email.
condescension in the per my previous email. But then what I do is I always try to look past that, just like you said. And I think to myself, I wonder what kind of day that person is having. Did someone just
Exactly.
pass away? Did their car break down? Could they not make their bills? Are they dealing with depression or addiction? Or, I mean, I always try and look past that and just look at the information itself and then stick with that.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. There's a story that I heard, and I'm trying to think of who said it. It'll come to me. But the story is there's a guy on the subway in New York at night, and I don't know how true this is, but it really brings this to light. And he says he's on this. It's 11 o'clock at night. And he's got 4 kids, 5 kids, and they're all just running around. And people are like, "What are you doing?" There's not that many people on there, but still, they're like, "Why aren't you watching out for your kids, right?" And so someone finally comes over to him and says, "Hey, can you keep your kids a little bit more under control, kind of thing?" And he says, "Oh, I just came from the hospital. Their mom died." And the tone changed. And so if you expect that there's something else going on, it can help you relate so much better. And maybe there is, and maybe there isn't. But business-like doesn't mean you have to be cruel. You can be kind.
Well, you're
And
exactly right because it may not be something bigger, but at the root of it, I believe you're right, is fear. I think that fear is the
oh,
root of
fear
all of
is
that
such
stuff.
a driver.
And so if you can respond in kind, you may help that person push past that fear through your kindness.
Yeah,
So even if
exactly.
there's not a bigger issue, you can still take the high road and be the bigger person and maybe teach that person something about themselves through the interaction.
Yep. Even so much as to say, hey, it sounds like you're having a really hard day.
Yep.
It just, oh, wow.
Yep.
People snap out and go, oh my gosh, yeah, I
So
am.
I tell this story sometimes. I've posted it on Facebook. When Jameson, my 13-year-old, he's got this huge, huge heart. I mean, that kid just loves everyone. Since he was little, he's been like that. And we were at the grocery store, the HEB at 281 and I mean 1604 in Blanco, and we were in line, and there was all these people in line, and it was taking forever, and I was being really grumpy. He was 5, maybe 6, and there was this lady behind us, this really, really robust lady, and she was wearing this bright yellow dress. I mean, head to toe yellow dress and this big yellow hat, like a Curious George, the guy on Curious George, like that. I mean, just bright yellow. And I will admit, and you know my heart, I try and love everyone, but I was thinking to myself, what a dumb looking outfit. And I'm grumpy and I'm all this kind of stuff. Well, Jameson turns around and looks at her and he goes, ma'am, you look like a big, bright sunflower. You're so beautiful. That lady just started bawling in the line at HEB. And I turned around and right when he started saying it, and I looked at her reaction and I thought,
Uh-oh.
wow, something's going on. And she touched my arm and she said, you have a beautiful young man. And that is exactly what I needed to hear today. And I just thought to myself, wow, if we could be more like
Really?
that, if we could be more like children and just say those kinds of things and give that kind of love and shower people with those kind of compliments instead of being how I was sitting in judgment of everything. The line, the cashier, the person in front of me, the lady behind me, everyone, because things weren't going my way.
Yep. And we all do that.
Yep.
We all do it. And it's when we can catch it and kind of redirect it that what a neat story. I know I love things like that too. And I love the stuff that you post, the stories that you post too, because we really can make a difference
I
um,
think we can.
every single day. And yeah.
So tell me what interests you? What are your, because I know from reading your post and some of the exchanges we've had, there are things that you're really passionate about outside of real estate too. So tell me what are some of those things?
People, of course, connections, making connections with people. And that's really that's one of the things I want to teach other agents is if you serve people, the money will come.
Yep.
And I was in real estate, let's see, I started in November and then December. So that first full year in real estate, I did 6 figures and I didn't know it until I did my taxes because it wasn't about, yes, of course I wanted to make money. Yes, if I didn't make anything, I probably would have gotten out. But it was about serving people, figuring out what they want, and being able to make it happen. You say you want a house, I'll give you all the background and the stuff to it, but if you want it, I'll make sure it's safe for you.
Yeah.
But just know if it's an older houses have older house problems. But I do my best to protect people and uh, and communicate with them. Just be transparent. There's not um, there have been times when I've been afraid to call clients because I'm like, oh, I have bad news for them. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you for telling me.
Hmm.
So now what I say is I'm going to give you all the information so you can make a good decision for your family.
Yeah.
And that's really bottom line. So, but I do have other interests. You asked me about that. Sorry. People, of course, but also Um, I love book studies. I love reading personal growth. The 3 books that have probably made the most difference in my life in the last 6 months are The Gap and the Gain,
Hmm.
Who Not How, and 10x is easier than 2x. And I've even led 2 book studies, free book studies, just for people to join on those. I'm getting ready to do the 10x one because it's been so impactful. I'm reading it for the 3rd time right
I'm
now. My
making a
husband and I
note
read it
because I've
every
never
morning.
heard of that book.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
10x is better than 2x?
It's easier.
Okay, is easier. All right.
And all by the same authors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned and if I ask anything and you don't want to talk about it, you can just say, Dustin, I don't want to talk about it. Because you know how I am. I'll talk about anything. Earlier, you mentioned something about praying, but not being a Christian, but connected. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I don't mean I'm not a Christian.
I understand.
That sounds really weird. Um, I don't, I think similar to you, I don't attend church. I have in the past, I've been to many churches. And I find that for me, um, church is in here. And I probably will get some people that argue with me on this. And that's okay. That, you get to do it the way you want to do it. But I think I'm a lot more similar to some of the things. I've read your book. Um, a lot more similar to how you describe yourself. I'm definitely spiritual. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
very. I pay way big attention to my intuition,
Yep.
and I think
Energy.
that's a God-given thing. So absolutely, I pay attention to it. Um, so yeah, that's it's a hard thing to describe in this day and age, but I think a lot of people, like you've been saying, and even in your post this morning about people, or maybe it was on your podcast. I've been on your podcast, but anyway, people finding a different way to be spiritual and
Yeah.
to be connected, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I always keep up with statistics just because I'm a nerd like that. And the as of 2 years ago, Pew Research, um, what was the other one? Christianity Today, and a third Barna, I think. There were three of them that said the um, traditional church is really on its way out. No one well, not no one, that's not true. More than not, most people no longer identify with that God. They call themselves nons, which is very interesting now. That's the big thing is they call themselves nons.
Yeah.
And everyone, because there's so much information at people's fingertips now,
Oh, it's
the
ridiculous.
the traditional approach to God is fading because people are seeing through that and seeing something else now, and there's a much broader way to connect to whatever your higher power is and other people, and that's what people are really resonating with, and I think that's a beautiful thing
I
because
do too.
then it becomes far more humanistic than it does religious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think religion can cause a certain kind of sociopathy in people where we protect the institution to the detriment of connecting with the human being.
Yeah. And it should be about connection. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I mean what do they say? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely and people can tell too, if you're rushing through things or you're not real, so to speak. I mean, it may be something that's going on in the background, yes, but people can usually pick up on that. And what I tell people too is really pay attention to what feels expansive or contractive, especially if they haven't been touching base with those kinds of things before, which I didn't used to. The stressors that we have. paying attention so that you can make different decisions about things. But sometimes if something comes at you and it feels contractive, like, oh, I just teach people to pay attention to that.
Mm.
There's something in there. There's something either to learn or to gain or danger. Could be a lot of things. But then also expansive is more of a um, when you're on track, you're doing stuff that you love.
Hmm.
Usually that's more of an expansive thing. Or if you're with somebody that you really care about a lot versus um, and just trusting that. That's an inner knowing too. And so that's something I pay attention to. I let it guide me a lot. Um, if somebody does come across kind of, I my use my words. Sounds so funny, but we say that to our kids. But use your words. Hey, it sounds like you're having a hard day. Um, but it really comes down to connecting with people and finding out, what's going on, because usually it's way more than we think.
Yeah. Yep. So a little while ago, you mentioned coaching. Do you still coach?
Oh yes, yeah. I have a couple clients now. I do group coaching. I'm creating a program called Referrals on Repeat, which is really just about serving people, but also having the language, learning how you can respond to some people so that, I mean, they're forever clients. Um, yeah, I feel very blessed to be where I am. And I don't have $1 million business. I'm not, there's so much pressure in this industry to perform, perform, perform. And that first year, I yeah, I made six figures, but I was busting my butt. And I, I'm 61 now. I don't want to bust my butt
Wow,
anymore.
you don't look 61.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I'm like, my husband's retired. I want to serve and do and be present and be able to serve coaching clients as well. And so I'm kind of designing the life that I want to have. And I'm very
Which we
grateful.
all should be doing.
And that's part of it too. It's like, what kind of business do you want to have? What kind of clients do you want to have? Because, like, right now, I'm focused really big on new construction and renters. I helped my daughter buy a house last year. She's a single
I
mom,
remember that.
and 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,400 square feet. Her payments are 1,200 a month.
Wow.
And there's a lot of them out there right now. And so many renters think, I can't buy, I can't buy, I can't buy. But once my daughter did, I'm like, well, who else could I help? Who else could buy a home? And then I started digging in even more into real estate in general and how realtors are taught to learn everything. And they're overwhelmed, especially brand new realtors. And it's like that whole idea of learn one thing, figure out. And I just talked to a new realtor the other day about this. I said, because he was like, I'm not making any money. And I said, that's true. It is a business. I said, but who do you want to serve? Because if you do listings and this and that and this and that, you can't get good at anything.
Jack of all
So,
trades, master of
yeah,
none.
yeah. And I've done all of them. And I personally, I don't like listings. And all the other agents are like, what? You don't like listings? I don't. I just referred one to another agent. You can do it way better than me. Go take care of this family. And I'm going to stay in my lane because it's where I'm passionate. But for this particular realtor, he said veterans, parents and families are veterans.
Hmm.
And I said, then start there, focus there. Find the thing that you love doing about real estate and do it. And you're going to get some other deals along the way, which you can learn from, but get really good at veterans, at selling, either, buying or selling, whatever it is. Um, and you will get the outliers because they see the work that you do.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because people can tell when you are working out of necessity because you have to make a paycheck.
Commission breath?
Yes. They can also tell when you're working out of a genuine desire to see them
Yeah.
succeed. They can also tell when you're completely disinterested and detached from them.
Oh yeah, you just want the deal to close.
Yes.
Because then it's like, well, I don't really want this house anymore. Well, I want you to close on it. I've
Right.
had
Well,
people,
you're contracted to there's no outs at this point.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's and we see stuff like this all the time with the
I
amount
bet
because
you
we
do.
close over 600 deals a month right now. And so we see all of this all the time on the other side. We see agents on the other side who try and fight for their paycheck and not for the client. And it's crazy to me because I love what you said, design your own life. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, everyone can tell. And then what happens is that lack of passion compounds and you just become um this old crotchety
Miserable.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just, everything's piss poor and blah 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 and you can tell people aren't happy, but the ones that are really enjoying what they're doing, you can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can just tell. I mean, in fact, I had to learn that the real hard way when I first started because I worked out of fear. I was very fear based. If I say no to this agent, then my business won't grow. And so I need to do this, and this, even though that's not what I offer to do. So that's what I'm going to do. And I teach my TCs, once you set that precedent, you can never take it back. And so if you tell an agent, here's what I'm going to do, and then you do that, you can't ever take that back. And then what happens is if you're doing that for two or three agents to grow your business, and then you start doing it the right way for all of these, and these two find out what you're doing and not doing, now you've got this group of agents over here saying, well, why aren't you doing that for me? You're doing it for them.
Yeah.
And that can bite you in the butt. And so I had to learn how to set those boundaries and stick to my services
And teach others too.
and teach others too. Yeah.
So true. And the other thing, and I tell people this too, is that if you're doing something that you don't love, you're going to procrastinate and you're not
Oh
going to do a good
man.
job. So find, and that's one of the Who Not How book. It talks about the who's that you have in your life. And Sheila is one.
Sheila is my TC, everybody, just so you know. She works with Kim. I love Sheila.
Yes, I do too. Yeah, she's when I finally got to the point where I was like, I really want to let go because I used to be a little bit of a control freak.
Every
Uh,
agent's a control freak.
and you want it done a certain way, and she's found so many things that uh, other agents have missed. I haven't had a chance to look at yet. It's just, yeah, she's been amazing. Um, and I keep forgetting that I have her sometimes. So I'll do stuff and she's like, Kim, I've got that.
Yep. Yeah.
But
All my TCs have to do that with their agents.
yeah.
Stop getting in the middle of the deal.
So, but it's been really wonderful. But she's one of my who's, and that's what the book talks about is find every time you ask, how am I going to do this? Don't ask how. Ask who do I know who can do this? Who's better at it, can do it faster, and loves it. And I'm like, Sheila.
Yep.
Hands down, I don't like doing all that stuff. I
Yep.
do it, but I don't like it. And I only did it out of necessity because
Yeah.
of the perfectionism and that. But once you let go of that, it's like, oh my gosh. So now I actually hired a photographer. She does all my videos for me. She does my posts. And I'm like, holy cow, I don't like doing all that stuff. I'm learning technology and all the apps and stuff. And thank goodness, if you find a teenager or someone in their 20s, It's
My
awesome.
Kim, my 11-year-old, who's in the other room on his Oculus screaming with his friends, having the best time. If I have a computer question, I go to him and
Oh yeah.
he can open up these command prompts and type in these commands and other boxes pop up. And I'm like, you could like run NASA from your room right now, and I can't even get this microphone to work for my podcast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, coding and all that kind of stuff.
That's what he does. Yeah,
You,
he did this thing called Code Ninjas for 8 years. It's called Code Ninjas, and you get belts. You go like from white belt to orange belt, and
oh my
he
gosh.
got so far advanced in his class by the time he was 9, they could not move him up anymore because he would have been in the class with teenagers, and they didn't allow that for whatever reason. And so he got bored.
Ooh.
And so he quit going there. And so he would get a new game. He saves his own money and he just loves these games, these like Minecraft and these puzzle kind of games. And so he would get a game and I would go in his room and watch him. He would have YouTube open on his computer. And I mean, he'd be like lounged back in his chair with his headphones on, staring. And I'd go in there and I'd go, Grayson, what are you doing? And he'd hit mute and he'd go, I'm watching a video on how to mod my game. And so he would watch 3 or 4 videos, hours worth of videos to learn how to code. And then he would write code into his games. And I can't even figure out how to make a microphone work. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a different world.
it is. But what you just talked about, agents need to hear, which is leverage. Anyone needs to hear it, actually.
Yes.
You
Yes.
leverage through the people who are mastery level at what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that keeps you in your 20% genius zone. And
80
then
20.
80% goes, yes,
Yep.
give it away. Let somebody else do it. I just met with another lady this morning that I'm hiring to do some stuff with my CRM. And I'm like, it, and most people also look at cost versus investment. And it's like, my time is the most valuable asset I have. I'm able to work now and take some time off.
Okay. So we still have time. This is huge what you're talking about. I call it my ROI, my return on the investment.
Yes.
So I can look at, let's say, because actually I was thinking about this when I couldn't hear you. I am going to hire someone to get this set up the way it needs to be. And then whenever I do a podcast, I'm going to send them the video and let them fix it and make it good and
Yes.
then upload it. So that's an investment. Now, most people would say, well, what's your return on that? Nothing, because you're not monetized for these podcasts. Okay, but it would take me easily an hour or two to make a podcast cool
Edited.
looking.
Yeah.
While they're doing that and I pay them $100 or whatever, I could be doing lead generation over here and make 1,000.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So now I've made $900 and spent $100.
People don't look at that though.
They
Most people
don't.
don't. So I'm glad we're bringing it up.
They don't.
My niece, go ahead.
Plus what you said to me is the biggest part ever. I cannot get my time back. And I don't know how much time I used to spend trying to think my way through something when I could have just said, hey, you know how to do this. Can you knock this out for me while I go do this? Oh, sure, absolutely. Bam. Now I've got my time back.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
can't get that time back.
Yeah. Can always make more money. You can't make more time, sir.
Man, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, my niece does. When I first started doing Mindset Monday on YouTube, I said, can you do those for me? And she said, oh, yeah, I love YouTube. I love editing. Da 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 da. CapCut. Da da da. I'm like,
CapCut. I don't understand CapCut.
I don't either. I don't have to because I've got her. I've got another who. She put every Monday, so long as I get it to her in time. She does the thumbnails. She does, and I'm like, a thumbnail? Isn't that one of these? But it's just she's so much better and faster, and she's added more things to it, and it's been wonderful. And so now I'm at the point where I want to start recording more. Um, and looking at SEO, which is another new term for me. So not
Search
new,
engine
but I just
optimization. Yeah.
oh, so it's just learning about all those things and then finding a who to handle it.
Yeah. Man, I love that. I love that we if I'm gonna title this podcast something about that. Um, return on investment or something, because that's
Ooh,
it's so huge. That is, and I everything for me always goes back to my family, because if I can spend time with my family, especially, man, I'm gonna tell you something. I was telling somebody earlier today. My boys are 11 and 13 now. I grew up being with them all day long because I work from home. So I would get them up in the mornings, I get them going on their chores. They're homeschooled. So we used to homeschool them too. And so I would do school with them and then get them on their chores and then take them where they wanted to play, or we go to Target, or we go to the bouncy house, or we do always doing stuff like that. Well, now they are, Jameson wants to be with his buddies, and he wants to go play and ride his bike, and he wants to go to his friend's house and play basketball and go do these things. And I'm like, uh, and so they're becoming more independent, which is hard on
it's
me.
hard.
Oh
It's
my gosh, it breaks my heart. And so when I can have that time to have with them, you better believe I will drop everything to
yep,
have that time.
yep.
And so if I can delegate something for 100, $200, but get that time over there, even though I don't get a monetary return,
That's the
that
thing.
is an investment.
That is the thing too, is that people think it's a monetary return. I'm not making
Nope.
anything. And it's not. It's not.
Yep.
I can go play golf with my husband. I can, have dinners. I can go visit my granddaughter. I have her over, we have her overnight sometimes, and she's 4 and she's just a little delight
Oh, I know. I've seen her. She's super cute.
and smart. Oh, kind of like your son. Um, but I'll I'll drop everything, that's the most important thing. And
Yep.
I think so many people are not aware of what's going on because they're so distracted by everything else going on. And we're driven by that. And when we step back, and I wish I would have done it long ago, but I'm
Me
just
too.
grateful I have done it now.
Yep.
When we step back and really see what is valuable. I mean, I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, my daughter's 30, going to be, no, she just turned 32, and the other one is turning 28. And I'm like, where did all that time go? It's
It's
just gone.
gone.
And so anyway, it's a matter of what is important to you. What do you find important? And then finding those things. And you said too about a lot of alcoholism. It's everywhere. It's just because of, and not just alcoholism, just drinking is a social thing.
Yeah.
Um, and so that comes into it too. It's like, are you aware of how much time you're spending there? You talk about return on investment. What are you getting for that? Oh, it's fun. Da, da, da. Okay, great. How's
Yep.
that working for you? No
Yep.
judgment, because if you like it, I love it.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't
if you
impact
want
my life if
if
you're
you
doing
want
that.
something different, I can help you start to be aware of the pieces that are missing and the things that you can do to make some connections inside that are making you or helping you make decisions that aren't in alignment with you. Um, I've had to
Mm,
break away from my office even because let's just say it wasn't aligned.
yeah.
So I do a lot more work from home. I love the people in my office, but I just wasn't. It just wasn't feeding my soul,
Yeah.
and so my office does at home. This is my home office, of course, with the background, um, but it's real important because a lot of times we can get sucked into, oh, you're not a team player, oh, you're not doing this, You got to show up here, you got to do that. And that kind of thing and that kind of energy, it just, because I'm so aware now, it drains me like that. But sometimes I don't notice it until I get back home or even around, different people. And I'm just a lot more aware now than I used to be. And so I am able to say, oh, not going to stay there that long. um, and I think so many people are just out of touch because of the world that we're in, right?
Well, yeah, and I think social media is a huge,
Oh my gosh, yes.
huge part of that. It is such false
Comparison. Ugh,
a false sense of reality. And what's weird is I, every single time I post something, which is pretty much every day, that's very real. So I got one today, a really long message today from a lady who lost her child and and tragically, and what I shared touched her and resonated with her and helped be a part of healing. And and it's amazing to me because it doesn't take much at all to be a part of that, but no one wants to do it. You said it, you almost said it a second ago, you mouthed it, comparison. Everyone posts BS.
yeah.
It's just such, I look at it and I know their lives. I know their real lives because I know them. And I know what they're posting is not the truth, but it's cars and out at a party and doing this and doing that and or these words about something. And I'm thinking, wow, that's got to be a very well, I know how it feels to live that way. It's a double identity. It's so false. It feels so fake. It's not true to
And yet you
anything
don't know.
having to do with integrity, and you just constantly slip down this.
Hmm.
And it's all because you feel a need to be as good or better than all the things you
The
see
comparison.
on social media, which aren't true anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny too, because I saw a friend of mine on social media. He's an agent and he's posting all these listings. And I was like, man, that's awesome. And there was a part in my brain that went, maybe you
Huh.
should get listings, Kim. And I went, whoa, 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 whoa. But it's so insidious and you don't notice it.
Yep.
And then another part comes in and it's like, Kim, you are not your thoughts. Thank goodness.
Wow, that's a
Um,
powerful phrase. I say that
yeah,
to myself. You are not your thoughts, and thoughts will
exactly.
pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because there
So,
is there is a weird is so I will tell you, I know for a fact there's nobody's company as successful as mine in contract to close in the state and maybe the nation. I don't know. I haven't looked. And even though my company is what it is, I will see a solo TC who closes in a year what we close in half a month and go, and I get this like jolt of fear that I'm suddenly not enough.
right?
Oh my God, look what, and there's this weird feeling that comes over me, and I have to go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. First of all, even if that was true, even if they were doing better than you, hooray for them.
Yeah,
Why do I need to feel fear over someone else's success, especially if I'm okay where I am?
yeah, exactly.
If I'm happy, why do I need to
But
all of a sudden
our brains are wired for survival though. They're not wired for success. And so that's people don't realize whenever you stretch out of your comfort zone, those thoughts are going to come up because they want to bring you back. Our ego
the
wants to,
ego,
yeah.
yep,
So I talk about the reticular activating system. I talk about just anything I can to educate people on what's really going on. You know,
yeah,
I
because there
like
are
your
definitely
title.
layers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So where do you see yourself in, or if you don't, which is fine, because I'm listening to a lot of Alan Watts right now. I think Alan Watts has got to be my philosopher I've ever read, and I've read a ton of philosophy. I was just restarting The Age of Reason again by Thomas Paine. Um, and Alan Watts talks a lot about the security of impermanence. Um,
Ooh,
how he wrote a book called here, right here, I'll show you. This is my favorite book I have ever read, The Wisdom of Insecurity.
I have it. I ordered it because you told me it was so good.
It
I
is
have it.
this book is literally, it has so many notes in it that I've made. This has got to be the greatest book I've ever read. And what he talks about is what causes anxiety and depression and fear and all these things is clinging to permanence.
Yes.
The idea that
Yes.
somehow in some way what I'm doing right now is going to ripple into the eternity of whatever, and that's just not true. I'm going
No.
to die one day and life's just going to go on, and it always does and it always will. And so, if I can learn to stop
Oh,
living in a non existent future and be in the present moment, not in the past and not in the future, but in the right now, all that stuff just goes away. It just instantly disappears. And so, when I ask people the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you were to say, I have no idea and I don't care, I would be like, heck yeah. But, but where do you see yourself in 5 years?
there's a couple different options. I love to travel. My daughter is a flight attendant up in Dallas, so I can hop on a plane and go see her anytime. We've been on a lot of mommy-daughter trips, Peru, South Africa. She wants to move to South Africa, so we may
Really?
actually, yeah, we may actually retire there. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it's beautiful. It's a lot like San Antonio, but it's so much less expensive. Very different, culture-wise and stuff.
Right.
But I've been there 3 times, twice with her and once with my husband and her, and we've looked at properties. She wants to. She's got a nonprofit for conservation, mostly for cheetahs, and we volunteered over there with the cheetah um, conservation group, and it was just I got to see elephants in the wild. I cried
Oh,
because
I
it was
would have
just
too.
it was so magical and I don't even have words. But
Did it become very apparent how detached from nature you are when you got there?
yeah,
That's what happens when I go to the beach.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty amazing. And there's sometimes I'll just step out of my office and go put my bare feet on the grass because maybe get grounded because I'm all up in here. So
Hmm.
but it's amazing. I love traveling to different countries, different people, meeting different cultures. I mean, it's just fantastic. So, hoping to go to Japan next year.
I just had a buddy who got back from there and said it. He sent me pictures, and it was just, you talk about a powerful historical cultural experience.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
never been out of the United States, mainly because I got into a lot of legal trouble in the past and I wasn't allowed to, but now I can. So eventually
It's so
I'll,
amazing. It'll
yeah,
make you appreciate the States so much more than you ever have. And yet there's a beauty like Europe and being in Spain and the old buildings and the castles. And we just don't have anything old like that here. And
yeah.
just breathtaking. Ireland,
I would love to go to Ireland. I would
you
really
should
love to go to
talk.
Ireland and
Yeah,
Wales.
yeah. It's amazing. Amazing.
Well, that's our hour.
Yep.
I try and keep people to an hour, so I respect their time because time is a great commodity. Thank you. Thank you for being on here, Kim.
No, thank you.
That was a
Thank you
lot of
for
fun. It
um
it's pretty crazy to me. I've done two of these now and they go by like that.
yeah, yeah. Because you're
So
enjoying it. That's what happens when you enjoy things.
yeah,
So thank you for doing these because I think they're going to be really powerful. More, as you talk to more people and interview more people. I think that's going to be lots more coming up and out
I
of
hope
these. And
so.
it's going to be really, really powerful.
I hope
And
so.
other people are going to see the message or and say, Dustin, you made a difference again. So,
I hope so. That's the goal. That really is my goal. Whatever I do, whatever I touch, whatever I'm a part of, I want it to be in some way serving other people. So
yeah, me too.
I
So I'm
know
so
I can tell.
as soon as I say, okay, I want to do it from love, come from love, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
they're making it really hard to come from love.
Yeah.
It's kind of like pray for patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that because then,
No.
yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the
Yeah.
opportunity to be here. And yeah, have a good rest of your week.
You too. Thanks, Kim.
You bet.
Bye.